Okay, we'll go ahead and get started now. Don't want to be keeping everybody any longer. Okay, so welcome to December's webinar. And thanks again for all those who are joining again. Welcome to those who are joining for the first time. This webinar, we're going to just go through the managing resources on your administration console. So it will just go through. It'll just go through some of the basic functions on assigning quota and so on to machines and so on. Okay. A brief introduction for those who haven't been on before. My name is Niall Fahy. I'm the EMEA Technical Education Specialist here at Mozy. I'm based out of Cork in Ireland. I train our internal support agents here in Europe, as well as our some external partners and customers. Okay, so as I was saying a while ago, this webinar will just go through how to manage the resources that you have at your disposal, such as license keys, storage quota, how you do that when assigning new users to your account, and so on. Okay. Just some definitions that I use throughout the webinar. The storage refers to the quota that you have available for users to use when backing up. So what you assign to each, the gigabyte storage that you would assign to each machine to back up with. License keys refer to desktop and server license keys. A desktop license key is primarily designed to back up a desktop operating system. It cannot be used on a server operating system. A server key is primarily designed to work on a server operating system, but can also work on a desktop operating system if needs be. Okay, if you are backing up a network device or NAS device, you would need to use a server license key. So logging into the administration console can be accessed from browsing to any one of those three addresses there. So secure.mozy.com/login, mozy.com/login, or mozypro.com/login. They'll all redirect you either way to secure.mozy.com. Only an administrator can access the administration console, and you can have more than one administrator per account. Okay, so your end users will not be able to access the functionality that you have in the administration console. Okay, so going through some of the resources sections. Okay, so machines. So these are obviously the individual computers and servers that you or your end users will be backing up. So what can we access from this section of the administration console? From here, from the machine section, you can control how much quota you assign to a user's machine. You can view their brief backup history of their machine. You can also create restores for your end users if needs be. Okay, and we'll go through all these sections at the end of this slide deck in an example. Okay, so the resources section of the administration console, you can see here, has changed slightly for some customers who are now on bundle price plans. It's changed slightly as well also for users who are still paying on the itemized plan by license key or and per gigabyte of storage. Here, as you can see, this would be a bundle price user. As you can see here from the change plan section, you now have a selection item where it give you your current purchase plan, and it will give you the list of the other plans that are available to your account. These bundle plans now come with unlimited desktop license keys, and if you do want to use server license keys, you need to add on this additional server plan that's just here. Okay. Once you add on that additional server plan to your monthly base plan, you then will be able to back up unlimited server machines. Okay. On an itemized user, so a user who's paying per gigabyte and per license key, as you can see here, the change plan section is just slightly different. Okay, and it's different to what it was previously also. So here you have a table that will give you your current usage levels, so your server quota, how much you've purchased. Okay, in the left column you have your purchased amount, and on the right column is your distributed amount. The distributed amount is the amount that you have assigned to machines currently, or that are being used. Okay, as you can see here, underneath that little grey table, here you have the base plan. Okay, so here it's filled in for you how much current storage you're using and how much license keys you've actually purchased. To add any more, as you see here, the submit button is grayed out. When I want to add more storage or license keys, I would just add in addition here. So if I wanted to go up to add another 6 desktop license keys, I would just change the 79 there in that box to 85, and then submit it, and those additional keys will be purchased for me. Okay. And again, I'll be showing you the actual interface and how to interact with it at the end. Okay. Change plans panel. How now do you return resources? So again, this has changed as well. Previously, you had an option in the administration console to return resources. Now, how you return unused resources. So if you overpurchase quota or overpurchase, so if you overpurchase quota, what you'll now do is you'll actually change your plan. So you now downgrade your plan, and then your changes will occur at the next billing date. Okay. So. And again, I'll go through an example of this at the end. Manage resources. Okay, so the manage resources section under resources has actually replaced the old assign keys area. So previously, if you wanted to create a user's account within the administration console, you had 2 options. You had add new user, or you could go through the assign keys section. The assign keys section basically just listed all the keys that you had available. You entered the user's email address next to an available license key and assigned it out. The manage resources section now has just replaced that old assign keys section. Okay, so from here you can now assign how you wish to split. You can also decide how you want to split up your storage if you're on a bundled price plan. Okay, so if you're buying in bundled storage, you go in here to manage resources to actually split up how you want to assign your storage. Okay, and if you're still using user groups, you can divide your quota up over the individual user groups from the section. So this is the new manage resources section. Okay, so as you can see from here, you now have a table here that outlines your desktop and server storage, okay, and your license keys on the right. As you can see here, I'm on a 50 gigabyte bundle, and that currently I have the server option enabled, so I have the add-on for server license keys added into my plan, and I currently have all the storage on my plan assigned to server license keys. By just clicking the blue hyperlink change button, I can change that server amount down, and then add it into desktop storage if I want to. Okay. From here, you can also create keys, and if you need additional keys, as you now have unlimited keys, you now have the ability yourself to create keys as you need them. Okay. So once you click the create key section, you now have a drop down. You select the type of server or type of license key you wish to have, a server or desktop, and then you just enter the amount of keys you wish to create, and then you can submit them. Okay. Other changes within the administration console you might have noticed is the billing history section. Okay. From here, you will now get an invoice created for you every time you have an account or a charge occur on your account. From these little blue hyperlinks here, you click on them and they'll pull up the invoice for you. There's also an option under account details within the administration console, and I'll show you this in a second, where you can decide to turn on the option to receive an email notification every time one of these charges occurs, and you will be sent the link to the invoice. If you don't wish to receive that, at any time you log into your administration console, you can come here and see your billing history and your invoices. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to the administration console itself and just run through some examples and interactions with the actual system. Okay. Okay, so this is my own internal support education account. This is a Mozy Pro itemized account. Okay, as you can see, I have a lot of machines here from different internal users within Mozy that we use when we're doing training and so on. Okay, so from the machine section here, okay, which you can access from just underneath users here, you can start to list machines. Okay, if you click on any one of the machines, so I'm just going to click on one by random. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this one here. Okay, so when I open up a machine in the administration console, I can see here a little brief history of the user's backup. Okay, so this basically is the same as you would see if you opened up if the user actually opened up their history tab within the Mozy configurations on their actual client that's installed on the machine. So they would get this little table also here on their history tab. The only difference being here is that it's a static. There's no interaction with this actual table. Whereas on the history panel of the user's machine, they will be able to see if there was under the result there was any error message or anything like that. They will be able to click on it to get more information on that particular error message. So here it'll just give you the start time of the backup, the type of a backup that it was, and the duration it ran. So when a user logs in, so when your end users log into, if they log in online, they generally will only see their own machine. That's all they will see from here. Okay. So at any point here, because I have an itemized plan, okay, if I want to change the user's storage amount, so for instance here on this machine, the user's using only 330 kilobytes, but if I go back up there, he's been assigned 20 gigabytes. Okay, so from the machine table here, okay, directly from the machine table I can click on change, okay, and here when I click in to change it, it'll tell me how much the maximum storage amount is that I can assign that user. So how much free storage I have available that I can assign to them. And that's including the 20 gigabytes that's in there at the moment. Okay, so if I want to, I can just change it down to 10 gigabytes and just click save. Okay, that will update there. Alternatively, I can open up the user, okay, and also from here, when I open up the user section, I can find the machine again and click change there. And again, when I click in, now you can see it has 20 gigabytes available. Okay, so that's the maximum I can assign to this user. And again, I can change it to, if I want, from here, and update and save it. Okay. And you'll get just a notification there to tell you that your quota has been changed successfully. Also from a machine, if you wish to, you can click up here to restore files to create a restore for an end user if needs be. If you do create a restore for an end user, at all times if you create restores for an end user, they get notifications throughout. Okay, So they will get a notification email to their user email address, this one here, once the restore has been built for them. Okay, so that's just the machine section. Okay, on the users that you would have within your administration console. Okay. Okay. So just to show you the change plan section. Okay, so this will be moving on now to just going through the actual changes that have taken place to the resources section here. Okay, if we click on change plan here, and that will open up there now in a second. As you can see here, because this account is an itemized account, so I'm still paying per gigabyte and per license key. I still have the assign key section here, so it's different to a bundle user. They still have, a bundle user would have, instead of assign keys and transfer resources, they just have a manage resources section. They have a manage resources section here. Because I'm still paying per license key and per gigabyte, as some users on the webinar today might be, you will still see the assign keys section here. Okay, so in the change plan section here, as you can see, so it tells me here my current plan, okay, and what I have distributed, and here if I make any changes, they'll be added in here, and then I'll get my updated plan. Okay, as you can see here, the submit button is grayed out because I haven't changed anything in the base plan section here. Okay, so for example, if I want to increase my server storage, we're going to go up. We'll go up to 2,700. Okay, it now is populated here the change I've made and what my updated plan will be. Okay, and I want to bring down my desktop storage to 2,004. Okay, and it tells me again it's updated there, and so on and so forth with the desktop keys or the server keys. And this is for itemized users only, who are paying per license key and per gigabyte of storage. Okay, so now I have the ability to submit here. Okay, billing history, as I was showing a while ago. Okay, so I'll just show you that on my other account, because this one is only an internal account, so there's actually no charges being made on it. Okay, so I'm just going to move over now to my bundled account, so we'll go through some of the other examples there. Okay, so on this account, as you can see, I have no machines on this account, and that's why I couldn't do the first part on it. Okay, so from here, I know you can see I have change plan section here. And I also have the billing history section here. Okay, so at any point, if you want to check your billing history, you come in here under resources, click on billing history, okay, and just click on the blue hyperlink here with the date. Okay, that will open up a link to an invoice, okay, for your account. Apologies, this account actually is a test account that's in French, so as you can see, the actual literature here is actually in French, but the premise of the plan or the invoice is the exact same as would be for yourself, be it in English or in German. Okay, here is just the date of the charge, what the charge was for, and the price of it. If there was, because it's a European account, there's VAT on it, and then the percentage of the period basically is that if you were, for example, paying monthly, the period, if you're paying for the entire month, is 100%. But for example, if you went up halfway through your month and you added, you went to the next bundle price plan and you were halfway through your month, it would give you here maybe 50%, because the charge for the period would only be 50% because you only have half a month left to your renewal date. Okay, so it will just give you these little, invoices for you there if you need them. Okay, and again, it's straightforward enough. You're just into your billing section, billing history section here. Click on the hyperlink, and it'll open up the invoice for you. Okay, so the change plan section for bundle users. Again, this is in your pricing because it's a French account. Okay, as you can see here, my current plan is 10 gigabytes. Total storage is 10 gigabytes. I have 2 gigabytes distributed, so I have 2 gigabytes assigned to various types of storage. And if I want to upgrade, I'm just in here to the drop-down menu. Okay, so in here, change to 50 gigabytes. It tells me how much my plan is going to change, and I can submit it. As you can see, the 10 gigabytes is still highlighted as my current plan until I go through with the purchase. Add-ons here you have for the server plan. Okay, so as you can see, it is included there. If you want to change that, you hit the change hyperlink and just change it to no. Okay, so now just to go through the actual manage resources section, so how to update the type of storage you're using. If you're on a bundled plan, this wouldn't apply so much to, this wouldn't apply at all. This section here doesn't apply at all to any user who is on an itemized plan, primarily because you still purchase at per gigabyte of type of, so you purchase your storage as either desktop or as server storage. If you're on a bundle plan and you have the server pass enabled, your storage that you purchase is just a bundle of storage, and you decide then how it gets broken up. So here my total account storage is 10 gigabytes. As you can see here, I've allocated just a gigabyte to desktop and a gigabyte to server. Now if I want to install on a server and I need 5 gigs, I just change this here to 5, submit it, and now it tells me the quota has changed. Okay, so now I have 5 gigabytes allocated. Okay, and I have to server storage, and I have 1 gigabyte assigned to desktop storage. Okay, my keys that have been created are here. As you can see, I have 40 keys created so far. None of them are assigned, okay, at the moment, and they're all here. This section here works the exact same as it did before. If you want to assign a user from here, if you want to create a user from here, you pop in your email, so hilef@mozy.com, okay, and that's a server license key. Here you can assign how much quota you want to give to your user directly from here to start with. So if you know, say you don't know how much the user is going to be going upon, you generally you could say maybe 5 gigs and put it in there. Okay, so you put 5 gigs in there, and then if you're happy with that, come down here and assign. Okay, if you assign it there and you don't tick the option to send emails, it just gets assigned here. Okay, so it sits here, and you would manually have to go to the user's machine, or you would have to manually yourself email the user their email, their username, which is the email, and the license key. Okay, if you're okay with that, that's a reasonable way to do it. If you don't want the hassle of having to come in here, copy out the license key into your own email address and email to the user, all you need to do is when you're assigning a key, is tick the send email option and hit assign. Once you hit assign, again, it'll come grey, like it'll grey out here in the background, the email to section. The user will receive an email welcoming them to Mozy. We'll give them the download link for the client. It'll give them their license key, and they can go in and install it themselves. Once they've installed it, this license key here and the user will go away from here and will go into your user section. Okay, if you assign a key to a user and they don't use it, you can always just come back here and clear it. Okay, that frees up the storage and it frees up the license key again. Okay, the create key section here, if you want to create more keys, it's just this little hyperlink here, create new keys, select the type of license key you want, the number you want, and hit submit, and it'll just create them for you. If you want to delete keys, you can do it here. You can delete inactive keys, or you can delete unassigned keys. So if you don't want to be, if you don't want keys sitting around and because they're not being used, you can do that. But again, you have unlimited keys, so it's not going to cost you anything per se. It's only going to cost you for the storage and not for the keys. So if they sit there unassigned, they can, and it won't make much of a difference to yourself. If you want to delete keys individually, you can do so here. Again, maybe it's just for if you want to keep things neat and tidy. That's entirely up to yourself. Again, from here you can change. You can go back to the change plan section and open it up there. Okay. So that's one way of creating a new user if you wish to. Alternatively, you can come here up to users on the left-hand side and add new user. Okay, and that'll open up a new section here whereby you can just fill in the user's name, their email, and then you can pop in here how many license keys are and how much quota you want to give them. Okay, I'm just going to take a pause there for a couple of seconds because I'm just getting a warning from the webinar tool that the audio quality may be poor. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, thank you, Karen. Okay, I'll push on so. Thanks, guys. Okay, so as I was saying, so you just enter in the user's name here and their email address, and you can just hit Save Changes. It's probably it takes more time if you're adding numerous users. It probably takes more time to do it this way. The to go through add new users. Okay. If you have a number of users you're trying to set up at the one time, it's probably faster to go through the for users with bundle price plans. It's probably easier to go through the manage resources sections here and then assign the keys, because you can do multiple users. You can assign keys to multiple users at any one time. For users paying on itemized plans, so paying per license key and per gigabyte of storage, then the assign key section is the same. In there, at least you can fill out, as you can see here, you can fill out numerous email addresses here and hit the send email section and assign, and that will send out the emails to them. But again, it's entirely up to yourself what way you're doing it at the time. If you only ever create one user at a time, then it may be just as easy to use the add new user section. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so that's just the manage resources section. Okay. For anybody using, so I'm just going to pop back into this account here. For anybody who has users or has signed up to the Mozy Stash beta, when you go to add a new user here, you have the option here to send the stash invite. Okay, so you can set the amount of storage that you want from here. Okay. Alternatively, you can just go to, when you go to your users, okay, so I just got 2 seconds here now. Okay, so here under user, so if you just go to search users, you can open up the user here, and you have the ability here to enable stash. So it's been enabled for this user here. Okay, so if I go to this user, maybe might have. Okay, so for this user here, if you have the if you've signed up for the stash beta, here you have the enable stash area here, and you're just going to add stash, and you just fill in how much storage you want to assign to stash, 2 gigabytes, and then tick the option to send email and submit. Okay, and that will send an invite to the user with a link to download the stash client. Okay, if you want to find out more about the stash beta, you'll find it on our website at mozy.com. There is, for those of you who are interested in signing up for the beta or have already signed up for the beta, in the next 2 weeks, I think it's the next 2 to 3 weeks, there will be for those who are participating in the beta, there will be 5 gigabytes of free storage assigned to accounts, so that you can test out the beta with your users, or for just yourself if you want to just use it for yourself just before it's rolled out on a permanent basis. Okay, so with that, that's everything I want to go through with you today. So I'm going to hand over the last couple of minutes to everybody for questions. Okay, and okay, yeah, okay, Karen. Yeah, the email alerts. Okay, so that is just in the, for those who have the abilities here in the graphs and reports section. Okay, certain users might not have this ability, but many of you may. If I can talk, I'll go through the report section first, and then the and how you can email them and set up the emails for yourself. Okay, so the report builder here will allow you create one of 7 reports. Okay. So it will allow you here to create a report. It'll tell you here just what, so this is the type of report, and then it'll give you a brief description to the right of the report, what it does. Okay, so if you want to create a report on this type, you can just click on the report. Okay. You then, in the report settings, okay, you just give the report name. So if it's one that you want to give specifically to for yourself, and then you can select the frequency, daily, weekly, or monthly. Okay, select the start date and when you want this report to start. Okay, and then if you don't, to make sure you have this option ticked to make it active so that it does send out. Okay, the report scope will. You can select, if you do have user groups, you can select the particular user groups that you want to cover within the report. If you don't have user groups enabled, it will just be for all your users. Okay, and then at the end you have the email options. Okay, so this is where you decide who it gets sent to. Okay, so when it runs. So here you can see I can fill in any address here, so I can fill in myself. Okay. I can fill in my email address there, subject line that I want to pop into the email, so when it's sent to me, what will appear in my subject line, and then the message that you have included in the email. So you can customize all this. So, you know, if you wanted to send it to, for example, if you're the administrator on the account, but you may be one of 3 or 4 administrators on the account, and you all want to receive the email. Fill in everybody's here. You can fill in all your email addresses here, and then you could just maybe put in here daily update on Mozy, and then you could have a brief email message. And then what will happen is once the report runs, it'll email it out to you directly, and we'll have your little bits and pieces in there already. Okay, so that's just on adding a report, and you then will have the section here on schedule reports. So any reports that you would have already set up, okay, will come in here. Okay, so it'll tell you here the name of the report, the type of the report, who the recipients are, what your schedule for it is, and if it's active or inactive. Okay, and you can, for the history of the reports, you can just click here, and it'll give you the back history of all the reports that have run previously. Okay. Okay, Karen. Does that answer your first question on the email alerts and so on for the reports? I'll just move on to your second question now. Okay, can you allow, so the second question from Karen is, can you allow a group of machines to go over their limit as long as the space is available, and then notify the administrator? Okay, so there is a functionality if you purchase, if you're purchasing by license key and by gigabyte of storage, you have the ability to enable a function called autogrow. What will happen with this function is that when a machine reaches its storage limit, so for example you have 5 gigabytes of storage assigned to a machine, it hits that 5 gigabytes, and if you have this autogrow feature enabled, what happens is the client then looks at your account. It checks, does it have, so first of all it will check the user group it's in. It'll check the user group that it's in, okay, for any free quota. If there's any free quota there, it'll take it from there. And then if there's not, it will check the partner. If there's no free quota in the partner, it will then, so your administration account, it will then purchase more quota. So if your account was, your machine was going over quota by a gigabyte, it would then purchase, if needs be, an extra gigabyte of storage and assign it to that machine. Okay. There's no, once that's done, there's no direct alert goes out to the administrator to let them know that that extra quota has been purchased. The email alert beta, it will, as far as I understand, that will not be, I wouldn't imagine it's going to become any better than what it currently is. That was left in primarily for users who are already using it, and it's no longer available for new signups. Because it's been replaced by the reports, graphs and reports sections that now email out to users. Okay, if you want, again, so this is the add alert section. If you want to, you can create some alerts in here, and you can select the frequency. Okay. So again, it's more of an output of set reports that you would create with the email alerts. Okay. Can I delve? Is that okay, Karen, or do you need me to explain it further, or have I covered what you want me to? Okay, perfect. Thanks, Karen. Is there any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, we will leave it there. Thanks very much for joining December's webinar. I hope to see you all again in January for our first webinar of 2013. Have a great holidays to everybody, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks now.